There comes a moment in life when everything once familiar suddenly feels strange. The job that once gave a sense of safety now feels empty. The relationships that once felt warm no longer nourish the heart. A person can sit in the middle of a party, laughter echoing all around, yet inside feel utterly alone, like someone standing outside a glass window, looking in at a world that no longer feels like home. This is the first sign of spiritual awakening, not some mystical or exotic experience, but the undeniable realization that the life one has built is no longer enough to sustain the soul. Carl Jung reminded us that when the soul has been neglected, it will find its way to speak. Sometimes it arrives as an unexplained sadness, sometimes as a midlife crisis, sometimes as an exhaustion the body cannot explain. It is the inner signal demanding that a person stop and face themselves. If you have ever felt this way, know that you are not broken. It is not failure. It is an invitation to begin a new path. A path where you no longer live only for the expectations of others, but begin to listen to the quieter, deeper voice within. And this very moment becomes the threshold to what Jung called individuation, the long journey back to wholeness. When the inner unrest begins to surface, one of the clearest signs is sleeplessness. During the day, one can distract themselves, but at night, when the noise fades, the mind refuses to rest. You lie there exhausted, but thoughts play like an endless film reel. Old memories, nameless worries, questions that sting. Who am I? What am I really living for? And in that silence, the neglected parts of the self slip in. Jung once said that both dreams and sleepless nights are ways the unconscious forces itself into awareness. When the truths of the heart are ignored in the daylight, they come knocking in the dark. Insomnia is not only a physical struggle, it is a warning from within that something vital has been buried too long. The real pain is not just fatigue, but the loneliness of those midnight hours. When the whole world sleeps, you face yourself with no escape. Yet this is also the most powerful invitation, to see the night not as an enemy, but as a mirror. What awakens in the dark are the very parts of your soul longing to be heard. Sleepless nights often begin in the simplest way. You turn off the lights, body weary, yet your eyes remain wide open. Instead of rest, the mind drags you back into the past. A careless word spoken years ago, the shame of a failure at work, the memory of being left out as a child. Each returns with such clarity that your heartbeat quickens as if it just happened. The suffering is not only from lack of sleep, it comes from the truth that these memories, once buried, now return demanding to be seen. Many try to push them away, scrolling endlessly on a phone, numbing with TV, or swallowing pills to force the body into rest. But when silence returns, so do the memories. You might finally drift into 2 hours of sleep, only to wake in the morning with heavy eyes and an even heavier heart, whispering, "Something inside me is still unresolved." In today's world, insomnia has become a warning bell. It does not mean your body is failing. It means your soul is carrying weight it can no longer hide. Perhaps it is sadness never spoken, anger swallowed down, or fears hidden behind a calm face. Left unacknowledged, they will always return at night, precisely when you are most vulnerable. There is a harsh truth that anyone who has suffered long nights of insomnia understands. The body feels drained, the eyes burn, yet the heart carries a weight like a stone. In the morning, you put on a smile, go to work, talk as if nothing is wrong, but inside, there is an emptiness that words cannot explain. This is the conflict between two layers of life. On the outside, you play the role of someone stable and normal. On the inside, a part of you is constantly crying out, urging you to finally look at yourself. The real pain does not lie in sleepless nights alone, but in the realization that you can no longer survive by pretending. A person can fill their days with work, friends, social media. But when night falls, with nothing left to shield them, sorrow, anger, and the deep sense of not being loved reveal themselves most clearly. Insomnia is the soul's way of forcing you to pause and be honest. In our modern society, many silently endure this without naming it. They think they are just stressed or burnt out. But at a deeper level, insomnia reveals wounds of the spirit that have never been healed. And if we don't dare to face them, we will continue to lie awake, torn between exhaustion and unrest, never finding true peace. What makes sleepless nights so heavy is not only fatigue, but the feeling of being trapped inside one's own thoughts. You lie there, turning countless times, while your mind keeps offering dark scenarios. Tomorrow I'll fail again. No one truly understands me. I have no value anymore. These thoughts are like thieves of the night, silently stealing away the last fragments of peace, and they become the hidden root of the silent suffering so many carry. Carl Jung once said, "What we do not face returns to us as fate." Insomnia is one such fate, the mind forcing you to witness the truths you tried to bury. Perhaps it is the fear of never being enough, the wound of being dismissed, or the feeling of being invisible even in your own family. In daylight, these truths can be covered, but in the stillness of night, they stand exposed. The deepest pain is not just the lack of rest, but the loneliness of carrying the entire weight of your emotions alone. No one there to comfort you, no one who can truly share it. Yet within that loneliness, a door appears. Either continue to run away or begin to courageously name what has truly hurt you. When these wounds are named, a difficult truth emerges. People do not suffer from insomnia only because of work pressure or family burdens, but because they have lived for years estranged from their own emotions. We are trained to suppress, to laugh when angry, to say, "I'm fine" when broken, to bury ourselves in work to avoid thinking. But the rejected parts of us never disappear. They accumulate, and on long nights they knock and say, "See me now." The pain lies in the distance between the outer self and the inner self. On the outside, you may be praised as strong, capable, dependable. But inside, there is still a child who is never comforted, wounds that were never touched. When insomnia persists, what it truly reveals is this: it is time to close that distance. In today's world, where everyone is busy proving their worth, pausing to listen to oneself feels like a luxury. Yet it is this very pause that opens the path to healing, because if not, insomnia will continue its endless cycle, like a tireless bell, reminding you that your soul is still waiting to be understood. And then there comes a stage, after countless sleepless nights, when a person suddenly realizes that insomnia is not just an enemy, but a mirror. It reveals what has long been avoided: the fear of abandonment, the feeling of never being enough, the dreams that were once silenced. When the brightness of the day hides everything away, it is the night that finally allows the soul to speak its truth. That pain itself becomes the doorway to growth. Carl Jung called this journey the return of the soul, the path each of us must walk if we wish to touch true peace. It is not promised to be easy. There will be nights when you cry silently, moments when you feel lost even in the midst of family or a crowd. But that is not a sign of something broken. It is proof that you are shedding the rigid shell and finding your true self again. One day, when you can close your eyes and embrace even the memories that once made your heart ache, when you can whisper to yourself, "I am worthy of love, even with these scars," that is the moment awakening begins. And insomnia is no longer a nightmare. It becomes the starting point of reconciliation with yourself. From there, sleep returns, not only to the body, but to the soul. Some nights may feel endless, but they are not here to destroy you. They are here to reveal the truth you've been running from. Insomnia is not punishment. It is a signal, a reminder that healing cannot wait forever. If these words resonate with you, hit subscribe and walk this path with me. Each video is another step toward deeper self-understanding, another piece of the peace you've been searching for. You don't have to walk alone. We'll explore this journey together.